Hello, Internets. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about Star Trek Discovery, Season 1, Episode 14, Mr. Burns style, The War Without.
Yes.
The War Within. All right. So, recap. It picks up right where Episode 13 leaves off.
Sure.
The Emperor and Burnham have just arrived back at the ship. I guess they arrived back at the ship and then were taken back to the Prime Universe. So they're in the Prime Universe. Oh my gosh, Klingons have either won already or are winning. We find out they're winning.
Yes.
This war, and they've come back 9 months after they left.
Cornwall invades.
So
give us your beams aboard.
Yeah. Rather easily, by the way. I mean, I get you like, oh, that's a ship out there, but once it was like, sir, they're targeting us, and
Yes.
and they're starting to beam aboard. Like, you'd think there'd be they could have all died if that had been the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
like, boom, 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 boom,
right.
dead.
Right. The fact that they're at Starfleet, maybe that has
Yeah.
something to do with why they could do it.
Right.
I forgot to put that setting on.
So Cornwall shows up, demands to see where Lorca is, takes over the ship with the cool, like, ship manual override.
Yes.
So and so then Sarek is there, and he mind melds with Saru, the Saru-Sarek combination.
Oh, right.
Very alliterative.
I forgot that I was like, but you got Burnham right there.
I know. Like,
no, I'm not going to meld with her.
And so he finds out all he needs to know, which is that Lorca is dead.
Yep.
And all the travails they had in the Mirror Universe.
Yep.
They decide to classify everything that happened in the Mirror Universe. Mirror Universe, classified. Much like Counterpart. Now they're going to have a tunnel that leads between. No. All right, so, which makes sense, and that's a way that they can now pretend, other people don't know about the Mirror Universe. Why? Because it's classified.
Yeah. So get used to things not making sense.
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes sense in this episode, unfortunately. Okay, but yeah, it's okay. So, there's also kind of an overarching storyline of Ash Tyler getting reintroduced to the crew.
Yes.
I'll say somewhat inexplicably, he is allowed to roam free with a little... it's not an ankle bracelet. It's a wrist bracelet.
See, that's the future.
It's a future. In the future, they move it from the ankle to the wrist.
Yeah, see?
And so he's
supposed to restrict his, goings on, whatever. They might have helped to have him, like, let me go into this area.
Right, yeah, good point. Or agonize. They do not agonize him. So he's being reintroduced to the crew. Everybody pretty much has their chance to come up and rectify stuff with him, except Burnham, who is justifiably got like a PTSD and doesn't really want to talk to him, and so avoids him until the end of the episode, more or less. There's a confrontation with Stamets. Obviously, this guy murdered in cold blood, neck snap style, his love and his husband, I think.
Yeah.
So, it's a little brief for my taste, but whatever. They have the moment of, I know what you did. You're a bad person. Hope you suffer, and I'll now leave you because you're part of the crew. That's what he said. He said, like, does it hurt you every day, or did it hurt you? Good.
Well,
I hope it does.
Well, no, he didn't say I hope it does. It's like there may be hope for you. Is what at least.
No, I think he's like, I hope it does. I'll stab you in the heart. That's what I wanted him to say. He didn't. Okay, fine. You're right. He's like, maybe there's hope for you. Okay.
Or something like, maybe you are human after all, or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, but then see, maybe you're human after all, which means you'll suffer forever. All right. So, there's a Tilly cafeteria scene.
You already mentioned it.
The cafeteria
Everybody
scene?
came by.
Well, sure, but we didn't say
it.
I mean, I said generally he gets reintroduced to the crew.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
That's how it happens.
In a cafeteria.
Because she's so good.
All right, whatever. That's fine.
She used to be an outcast. Now he is.
And you know what? I didn't have actually a problem with her in that moment. That seems like something her character would do. Yeah. But it was just that people adapt to him so fast.
Yeah, they're a little too happy.
Problem.
Like, hey,
what's going on? You? Oh, who'd you kill today? Oh boy, we have another doctor. Hope he watches out.
Yeah.
All right. So they just like quickly are like, "Yay, you're back in the crew." Meanwhile, we learn more about how horrible things are going with the Klingon War. Basically, the main tactic the Klingons are using, it seems, is an effective one. The cloaking technology. So they finally managed to get their cloaking algorithm.
Yes.
And so now they can figure out the cloaked ships. Yeah. But it's a little late. And so what's been happening is the Klingons have been cloaking ships and then following Starfleet ships into their docking bays. So they open the docking bay, invisible ship, and then suicide mission, explode, and they blow up these stations. And so they've been just blowing up their fleet that way. And so I don't know if that exactly is what happens with Starbase 1, but they go, we're going to Starbase 1 and we're going to insert a plan.
There are a bunch of Klingons there now, so
they didn't blow it up.
Well, it looked like it was a little blown up.
Yeah, it did. It took some damage. Anyway, so a particular clan of Klingons have taken over this particular station, and, it's kind of like, wait, there were 80,000 souls aboard that... Whatever she says, something like large.
I think they've said souls before, which I guess is a nautical term, but I'm just like, really, they still do that? Okay.
So Cornwell is distraught. Obviously, all these people dying. She goes and talks to Laurel, who's still a prisoner aboard Discovery.
Oh yeah.
And is like, hey, you've got all these factions. Just, I'll be straight with you. Your side's winning. How do we solve this? How can we? They're not even asking for any demands.
Nope.
There's no terms of surrender. There's no. Well, how does this end? And basically, it doesn't.
She does say, like, begrudgingly say, Takuma said that humans are no courage, and he was wrong about that. I respect you is basically what she was saying.
Yeah.
You're not a coward.
She was surprised that she was alive. Right.
Yes.
Last she saw her, she'd been thrown into the room of people to die.
Yes.
I believe.
Was it the last?
I don't know. Maybe. And so...
I think she beat her up and left, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's... oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right. Okay. So basically, the takeaway that Cornwell gets out of that is the only way we're going to get rid of the Klingons is to play mean. Play dirty. We don't play by the rules.
Right.
We got to kill kids, basically. I think it's the takeaway. So, at that, Burnham introduces the Emperor to Cornwell. They've been keeping the Emperor secret because she's, from the Mirror Universe. And so, kind of, she's like, well, here, and
one more thing. We've got somebody from the other universe.
Right. By the way, Mirror Universe, not just someone.
Yes.
The leader, the Space Hitler is staying with us on this ship.
Maybe Space Genghis Khan?
Space Genghis Khan. Sure, the Space Khan. No, not Khan. Sorry, wait, whoops. That's still this one. Khan. That Khan's still in stasis somewhere.
Yes.
Space Genghis Khan.
Space Stalin.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Space Nero is over here, and... basically it's decided, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to attack the Klingon homeworld, Kronos, which hasn't been done. They haven't been visited since Archer did back in the Enterprise.
Right.
They mentioned that show. They threw in a show Easter egg
100
years earlier.
I think part of it is that, they have their special drive back, so they can... just get there.
And they're gonna bamf inside the planet.
Right.
It's their special cloaking thing.
So that's what they couldn't have done before.
Correct. Good point. So they don't have any more spores. They used all their spores in getting out of the Mirror Universe. So handily,
Stamets has a plan.
Stamets has a plan.
That apparently, I guess, his co-worker who was also working was like, nah, we can't do that. Not around anymore.
I got this vial. Now this is the last of our spore possibility. I know he said we had the last of our spores. This is the last. If anything happens bad at this. So they go to a random, I assume it's not random. They go to a moon on a very specific solar system. and takes about 10 minutes. Boom. They populate the entire moon with spores, a spore garden.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about the ramifications of that. But basically, they're like, hey, now we can collect all the spores we want. Yeah. Great. We'll use this thing. We're fine. So we can now bamf inside planet Kronos.
Yes.
So theoretically, at least as the plan of first emerges, we're just going to hit military targets and be fine. That'll be great. But Sarek has a talk with the Emperor, where the Emperor's like, yeah, if you want to do military targets, great, but that's a start. If you really want to beat the Klingons, give me control. And so, I mean, they didn't say it, but the strong implication is you attack innocent people. You attack the citizenry.
Yeah.
And bomb them into extinction. She said, oh, we left our version of Kronos in ashes. Yeah. So that's what she's saying.
Yeah. So logically, genocide.
Right, that was what she's like, wouldn't logic, if you were facing extinction, wouldn't you logically kill everyone you know? Like, no, actually, I don't think that's very logical.
Let me look at my book of logic here.
The logic book. Logic only holds until you're under pressure. Then it doesn't. Oh, great. Oh, cool then. Let's just throw that up. So I'm sure I've missed a few things in here, but basically then they end with Georgiou being introduced back to the crew as though she's Prime Universe Georgiou. That's actually kind of funny. Yeah. It's the one group of people who would probably be least likely to believe that scenario. Yes. As they just came from the Mirror Universe, they just saw Mirror Emperor Georgiou on their view screens talking to them.
But she's got the right hair now.
She's got the right hair. So like, no. Right, she survived. She was captured and she survived and she's fine. Yeah. No follow-up questions.
This is not the Georgiou you're looking for.
Wrong universe. Okay. One other very important piece of information we learned in this episode is that the mirror discovery was destroyed.
Yes, destroyed. We thought, what are they going to do?
And they confront each other.
Immediately, this really powerful ship, just,
gone.
What? Although, actually, I guess you could argue that maybe it's not as powerful.
Right, because it didn't have the spore drive.
Right, it apparently didn't have the spore drive. I mean,
yeah. And so we bid farewell to Captain Killy. We hardly knew ye.
Yes, we did.
Okay, good. All right. So, but I thought that might be a cool story plot point at some point, but it's not. Or at least as far as we're told.
Right.
Maybe they captured the ship and claimed it was blown up. All right, anyway. All right, so, sir, I just talked a bunch. Comments?
Oh, yeah, and you forgot about the conversation between Burnham and Ash.
Burnham and Ash. So Burnham does finally talk to Ash Tyler.
She's avoiding it every, Tilly. That's another thing with Tilly. Tilly says, you should at least talk to him to say goodbye. He's got a tough time.
Yeah, right. Burnham feels like she said goodbye to Sarek for the last time, although I think that's a misdirect. Especially since we know Sarek lives.
Right.
But,
Right.
It's kind of like the Han Solo in Empire where he's like, I think I've seen that ship for the last time.
Well, that would be unusual if they killed off Burnham.
Yeah, before season 2. I don't think so. I think she's...
Well, if they're still going to do the plan, anthology plan, maybe so.
Okay, all right. I think that's a...
Boom, the ship explodes and you lose on the technology?
Ta-da! We fixed it. We fixed the continuity. I'll just push this button and... Oh, no!
That kills Georgiou,
Yeah, wow, man. It fixes all kinds of problems. Yes, there's a conversation between Ash and Burnham, which comes off as creepy. And I think it's unintentionally so. Basically, Ash...
He's not making the best arguments.
He is not. This case. He is not at all. And so he's got the little quivery eye, I'm about to cry, but his whole point is, look, the rest of the crew forgave me. What's your problem?
Yeah, I need your help. I need your help to get over this.
You know what? The only reason that you haven't forgiven me is because your parents were killed by Klingons. And she rightly brings up, there was that time very recently when you were choking me to death. Yeah. I believe that was
I don't see your Ash's eyes anymore. I see Duchovny's. Vox eyes. That's who I see.
So yeah, he tried to kill her by manual strangulation.
Yes.
Lied to her. She brings that up. She's like, he's like, hey, you're my tether.
Yes.
Tether. Remember the tether thing? It's, she has so many reasons to avoid him.
Yes.
And so for him to play it off like, it's only because your parents were killed by Klingons. And by the way, if it's not for you, bad things will happen to me.
Now, do you think he's going to make it out of the season?
Stay in this relationship it's basically an abusive relationship. God bless. I had made the prediction that not all three, that some portion of the three of Lorca, the Emperor, and Ash Tyler would die, but not all three of them. Now, boy, it could easily be that all three of them perish this season. All right, so.
I mean, it's possible that, shoot, I can't imagine them putting him back to being a Klingon. So I can't,
Yeah. But there's that comment.
I could imagine that he might stick around, but because of how they set it up in a way where it's like, if you can't accept me, maybe she won't accept him to the extent that he can, or he'll sacrifice himself in some way.
Right, that would be the way he goes out, is he sacrifices himself to save her ship, and it's like, he was a good guy.
Jumps in the way when Georgie was trying to shoot Burnham or something.
That would be the most likely out for him if he's going out.
And then finally she gets to kill her. Oh no, I had to kill her! I had to kill Georgiou!
The other possibility, if he survives, would be that he redeems himself. He's in the role of Burnham when Burnham was first on the ship. Oh, you're the traitor who no one likes, and now you're going to have to make your way, and he makes his way.
Right.
So that could be the arc.
Sure.
But yeah, that whole thing where Tilly says, like, he'll never fly again. He's probably going to spend his days in a cell.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's written him off.
See, they've already ruined the one exception where it's like, that person who committed mutiny, and then we took him back on? Why did we do that exactly? Oh, wait, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
But yeah, it is... we'll go back to real fast. The idea that Saru has this one conversation with this guy, and they don't know, because it was L'Rell was the one who fixed him.
Yes.
They don't know anything about how he's fixed, other than like talking to him, and he's like, "I think I'm okay," and he doesn't even say anything. He's like, "I don't know who I am." Right. I mean, so for that guy who is still incredibly unstable, who has murdered a valuable crew member. He was invaluable. It was still, he murdered a crew member. Tried to kill Burnham. Was admittedly a spy.
Yes.
For that guy to get free run, more or less free run of the ship, like get within strangle distance of everyone, is silly. But okay, anyway. Yeah.
I think you're overselling it slightly to make your point.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have helped.
He said himself, "I should be in a cell." Yeah. You're right.
Anyway. What a big Culver fan you are. Anyway, like more than his husband. I'm not as bothered by that. Although I agree that I feel like it's dramatic reasons why they wanted to have that happen.
Right.
And again, as I'm saying,
they're showing it's the Burnham thing. I think they're showing much like that same arc for Burnham.
Right, which is why I'm suspecting that they're going to kill him off. Okay. But like this in many elements, I think it's rushed. So
this particular episode I don't think really is rushed.
Yeah.
They're trying to contrive the circumstance for this final episode that we talked about very early on when Burnham first came to the Discovery after having mutinied. I postulated that there might be a mutiny to mutiny story arc. Yeah. She mutinies kind of for the wrong reasons, starts a war, then she has to find a reason. Eventually she'll be in a situation where she should probably mutiny again, and then has to deal with the fact that, well, the last time I mutinied wasn't so great. Do I do this now? And she mutinies again. And I think that's what they were like, wait, we need to have Giorgio and take control of the ship. Yes. Push that. Okay, good. She's in it. See? There we go. Now you got to do it. And so I think that's the arc is Giorgio's going to tell them to go kill kids. Yeah. And they're going to have to say no. Yeah. And then there'll be a mutiny, and Saru will be on board this time, right? As opposed to last time when he was against the mutiny,
right? Right, and I guess for him a key, I guess, would be that the admiral has put her in charge. So it's the buy-in. It's not like you were thinking like it was going to be Lorca,
right? At the time, it was like Lorca's ship.
The only way it would have been the same is if. What's his name? Saru did not know that it wasn't the right. So if he was mutinying, thinking this is the actual correct Lorca, then it's the same. But if it's like you're not the appropriate Lorca, no one knew that you were this mirror guy, not mutiny.
Yeah, I did think until Lorca, that moment when Lorca turned into true villain status. 2 or 3 episodes ago. It's like the mirror. Oh, he's blinded. Oh God, it's that guy. As soon as he went into mustache twirling evil guy, then he was a villain. But until that moment, I thought it was setting up a somewhat interesting scenario where you've got a guy who's morally gray. He's still a captain that makes decisions for his crew and is not just out and out evil. And then at some point he's going to step too far over the line, and that's when it's going to be like, okay, even though I respect you as a captain and all this stuff, I'm going to have to mutiny in this case again because this is wrong. Like, that would have been, I think, a more powerful storyline as opposed to this situation where it's obviously bad. The Starfleet is just making a huge mistake and giving the most powerful weapon in the quadrant to this evil person who's going to do evil things with this ship.
Well, I mean...
Just because she has the same face as someone who wasn't evil.
In their defense, though... The whole thing about if you're really losing, is it okay to give up your principle? It's a worthwhile theme.
Yep. Yes.
It's just such a tight thing. You lose the personal because it doesn't feel personal at all. Especially, apparently, he's not going to be getting along well at all with the new captain. So he's not going to get along with Giorgio the way he did with the old one.
Oh, you're saying Saru, in other words.
Saru, yeah. Yeah, Saru is not. No, it's like.
Yeah, he has no love for the mirror universe.
She has none love for him. Well, maybe with butter on him.
That's right. Good point. There was a huge thing. You're right. We feasted on your entrails. Like, okay. Well, no, that was a good first impression. Burnham obviously has more of a tie because she does see the face of her prime universe person and mirror world Emperor raised Mirror Burnham. Yes. And so it's a weird loyalty based on your doppelganger was nice to me.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's like the whole I wasn't crazy about the conversation where she's like, let me explain to you, Saru, why I did what I did. Now I know she's evil, but I've got no excuse. I just couldn't see her die again.
Yeah. They're just pushing it so fast.
It's like, well, and he just forgives her. No.
Yeah. I didn't get that either. So let's talk real quick about this spore thing. Okay. So obviously the whole season, we've been thinking, how do they unplug this spore drive so that future shows aren't using it? Duh. That's going to happen at some point.
It has to.
Right? You'd think. So they had the perfect opportunity. Hey, we used all of our spores getting back home. Yeah. We're going to classify the mirror universe. We're not going back there. And as far as we know, we're just hey, tinkering with spore drives means you could also destroy the entire universe as we know it.
Yes.
Let's just leave it alone.
Yes.
Nope. They doubled down on it. They're like, we can create a whole planet of spores. So now what they've done is they've created essentially a public garden of spores. So anybody who gets the schematics for the Discovery can go, how do we power it? Oh, I know. Let's go to the planet of spores. We'll take our own. We'll grow them ourselves. They made it much more likely that the spore drive would be in effect for future years to come. So I'm like, where are you taking this? Also, because they've discovered, spores can regenerate people. So, hey, there's really no downside to Stamets being our spore drive because they can just regenerate him after he's done. So they've gotten rid of the impediment of, but it'll kill you in the long run. And they've gotten rid of, we had no spores. I don't know where we could get them. they keep overcoming the obstacles. So it's still in the show. So our thought was, they're going to have to basically retcon all of the old series to include spore drive. Just because it would be like, Captain, the spore drive is online. We'll make sure that the mycelium network will get us there. So that's going to happen. Yeah, happen. It's going to take some doing, but I really feel like improve those shows. So I don't know.
It's the equivalent of I guess Khan saying no.
Buried alive.
Or was it Kirk?
That was Kirk saying no, but yes. Yeah. Either way, you can have Khan doing it too.
Very good.
Spore drive. That is still a thing, and I'm just. And they made sure they used all the holograms when they have the big meeting.
Yes, they did. They're still using the holograms.
The hologram technology.
Instead of like, we've lost so much of the war, we can't do that anymore. Let's just use.
Right.
We actually.
That stuff costs
kind
money.
Of embarrassing.
We have to ration our holograms, so we're only going to do 2D screens from now on. It's just. So there's the Tyler stuff didn't work for me. Putting the Emperor in charge of the ship seems like a dumb idea. You got the spore problem. It just feels like the show isn't as clever as I'd like it to be. And I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it. It's got some cool sci-fi action. It's beautiful to look at in many ways. The production value is great. For the most part, the acting is good. I'm cool with some of the main, most of the main cast members and stuff. It's just, it just, we were just talking last week about how stupid the plan was that they had to we'll give up all our weapons, surrender, and then punch our way out of a bridge filled with military zealots intent on killing us with guns. You're like, that's not a good plan. It's not. Anyway, so
it worked.
It worked, so it was a great plan. It's kind of what this is. It's like, this is a stupid plan. It'll work. Okay, it'll be fine.
I don't know about that.
We don't know.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So we're postulating that there's going to be a mutiny.
Yes.
Giorgio probably dies.
I would think.
Like if they capture her, it'd be
what's
weird.
The point?
Yeah, she's probably going to, because she wanted to go out.
Yes.
Dying in the previous one, so she's probably, with no one to stop her, she's going to be fine. I'm dying this time. Yeah. So I think she goes out. Which is why I'm wondering if Ash Tyler actually goes out too. Anyway, okay. So they kill the Emperor. Still got the problems with the Klingons.
Yes.
I'm a little confused, frankly. This is another plot point that's a little weird to me. What they're basically saying, what I got out of the problem with the Klingons is...
Yes.
They're leaderless.
Yes.
So instead of just one army, there's 24 separate groups.
Yes.
Now, usually, it's a lot worse when you've got a really good ruler. It seems like that would be an advantage, that there's not a good leader on the other side. But they're saying, you know what? Because there's no good leader, well, sucks.
Well, I think a reason why is because, they said some of the reasons where it's like, they're not asking for anything.
Right.
It's like, you just want to kill us all.
Which they probably would do even with a leader is kind of I don't know.
Well, I think they might try to conquer them or enslave them or something like that. You know, it's like that's sort of like how can we normalize this stuff now? Because having everybody run around do this crap is not typically that's not how you build an empire. You know, that's just woohoo! This is just fun killing people. Yeah. So it's like you pretty much want to bring people together so you can have a purpose to what you're doing, as opposed to just like, oh, what have you done? Just doing this stuff, and you know,
just like a lawless.
And also too, they're presumably they're actually probably attacking each other a bit too. I would assume. I mean, I would assume they haven't said it explicitly, but if you're not, who knows what happens once you kill enough people.
And I suppose there's the thing of the going to the Kronos, the homeworld, and destroying. So it's similar to us dropping the A-bomb, basically World War II style. Yes. How do we end this war? Yeah. Oh, we'll drop a bomb on the citizenry and to make them surrender.
Right.
So there's kind of that. They're trying to.
Maybe it's the detente. We can't use the spore drive anymore.
They throw that out as a bargaining chip.
Yeah,
we've got the spores.
We're not going to use that anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We promised to destroy our planet. We're not going to use a spore drive or holograms.
That's right. No more holograms.
That'll end this war.
We're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna go back to flip phones. We're gonna go bright colors.
And your woman must wear mini skirts.
Mini skirts. We're gonna use light bright pegs only. All right, good. There you go. That's how they do it. That's how they end the war. Maybe no. So somehow that conflict is. If not, it probably won't get wrapped up, but they may continue the Klingon War,
I don't know.
But because obviously everything isn't hunky dory 10 years later.
Right. No, that's why I think they're going to go to a Cold War period.
Right.
I think that's that's it.
We'll talk terms and do something.
No, and never probably have Klingon subtitles anymore.
Yeah. So what do you see as? Is there going to be a last second? The last scene is a cliffhanger thing that's unrelated to the rest of the show. There's like, oh, this new development has happened, which will be bad for later, or like a lot of shows do.
What are you saying? What is going to be the part that'll prepare you for the second season? Is
correct. I have a couple of thoughts.
Well, I think somebody said that the whole spore on Tilly's shoulder thing is supposed to be some sort of...
That's definitely a thing that they have not acknowledged, and I think will become that could easily be oh my God, she's becoming a human spore. I don't know, whatever.
Anything's improvement.
It would improve Tilly's character greatly. If she walks around like a giant head of lettuce or something, you'd be like, oh, wow, look at that. So that's I agree.
I don't know where that would lead. What other than a few episodes of that, I have no idea what the benefit of that would be.
I have another thought, which is based on a crazy theory, but also the fact that they haven't addressed this yet, and it needs addressing. It needs a Caesar salad dressing. They have not addressed or even really questioned what has happened to Mirror Universe Burnham and Prime Universe Lorca.
Right.
We know from the dialogue that Prime Lorca almost certainly bamped into Mirror Universe.
Right.
And we have not seen him die. Hence, he's a main character who we have not heard is actually dead. Yep. He's not dead.
No.
Same thing with Mirror Universe Burnham. So what if, in the Mirror Universe, Burnham, we know Mirror Burnham was trying to, at the moment when Lorca disappeared, he was being shot at by the Emperor, and the ship was blown up. Boom. Burnham was sent to track him down, I think, or something, or find him. It was a little weird on what that was all about. But let's say she was trying to find him for whatever reason, and maybe she was in love with him, perhaps. But she was trying to find Mirror Lorca. Well, Mirror Lorca's gone, but instead she finds Prime Lorca.
Yes.
Who convinces her he's Prime Lorca.
Sure.
You know, and so in order to get her Lorca back, she agrees to, they go into hiding until they can figure out a way to switch him back, perhaps. I'm just saying, maybe you've got the last scene is, I don't know, there's a craft. Oh, yeah, let's pull it on board. Steam. It's me! Anyway, but it's like Mirror Burnham and Prime Lorca show up. Credits. I don't know. I'm just saying, unlikely. I'm going to say that's low on the likelihood scale, but I'll go 15%, 10-15% chance that's your cliffhanger ending. Because at the very least, they should at least throw it out there. Like, what is... I wonder what happened to Mirror Burnham. Leave it off. Well, something. Where they just... Those characters are so integral to this story, and they're just these dangling plot threads right now that you would feel like they would address in some way.
Yes, I mean, I feel like they could leave it off to season 2, not even hint at it. I mean, if that's going to be the major focus of next season, then I could see it. And so part of this is, God, I hope it's not.
Well, it's just that you would have...
I mean, I don't mind seeing them again, but I don't want that to be the focus. Anything to have to do with the Mirror Universe for next season. I don't want that.
I agree that Mirror Burnham, I wouldn't want to see. I wouldn't want to see the two of them have to square off. But I'd like to see Lorca back. And if it's a Prime Lorca, who's maybe a little less morally gray, that would be kind of cool. I'd be cool with that.
Right. But I think your logic, and maybe there's another way, but of him being in the Mirror Universe, then I don't know. I don't want any more of the Mirror Universe.
Yeah. I mean, I think somehow he found his way back. Is what I was saying. Like they figured it out somehow. Okay. But I know that the odds are not great. I'm just trying to think of how
it just feels like it'd be better if they came up with something different, or if they follow through with the plan that it didn't seem like they're going to follow through with. And well, if they're going to do Tilly with the spores next season, then I guess they aren't going to do it. But I like the whole I wish they would do the anthology thing. Show something else.
Right.
But if they continue on with this, that's fine. But then I don't know how they're going to continue on with it, though. Right? It'd be unfortunate if we had as many seasons as 5 or whatever with the spore drive. Then it's really like, God, why didn't we ever do anything with that technology?
And the fact that no one else picked it up,
right?
Would be very hard to swallow.
So in a way, I kind of feel like the two things that were distinctive about this series, which is Spore Drive and the Mirror Universe, are so big now that occurred before any of the current season. I mean, it would have been interesting if they'd done that after everything we've seen. So it's like maybe they will do the Spore technology with everything, as opposed to trying to say no, they can't. So we've got to figure out how we can't do it. And is that something regular now where we could actually go back and forth between the two dimensions? As then, we know that doesn't happen. So, it's like, okay, you've set up these interesting things that we're assuming are going to have to end. What is the show about?
Yeah.
So
it's a good point. So we are up to the final episode.
So even though I think I previously said I feel like this is the best Star Trek, now I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I don't know what the purpose of this show is going to be in the future after this. And it's like, it's good that you're doing continuing storylines, and I feel you've rushed this. At least the back half of it's been kind of rushed, but I still support how you're doing it. But how it fits into everything else is still a big question for me.
Yeah, so. Yeah. There has to be some lip service to continuity. Yeah. And anyway, we're going to find out. We'll be back next week talking about this. Yeah. The big finale.
Big finale.
We'll be watching. I don't know if it's a longer episode or not. But
he's going to show up, Burnham, what happens. Tilly,
just say when they pull the ship, when they pull the weird ship from the Mirror Universe onto their tractor beam it in, and the little smoke clears, and it's Prime Lorca, I win the internet. There you go.
It's like there you go.
Yeah. All right. So yes, we're going to talk about Black Mirror tomorrow, and we'll be back with Counterparts, and of course, Star Trek Discovery,
and
the season finale.
Yes.
So we will do all that and more. So subscribe, and you'll get more notifications and things. Bye, everybody.
Adios.